Hello, everyone. Welcome to New Moon Yoga. I was just having some technical difficulties before I logged in. So if anybody is able to just let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I'm just gonna write in the chat. Can everyone hear me? I'm having some trouble, honestly, just getting my the sound of my voice and the music to go at the same time. I don't remember how I did it the last time. So, um, if you want to put on your own music in the background, just like throw on another YouTube tab and look up like music for power yoga or something, or just throw on your Spotify. Great. Okay, I'm glad you can hear me. Um, yeah, last time I had music going, I can't figure it out right now. I should have probably tested it earlier, but I forget how to do it. So, sorry about that, but feel free to, like I said, put on your own music and we'll go ahead and get started in a minute. Hi, everyone. I can see you all in the chat. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Okay, awesome. So, thank you so much for joining me tonight for our new moon in Aries power yoga class. We're going to get moving in a minute, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about this new moon and basically, all of the benefits that come along with our new moon in Aries this month. So, if you are familiar with kind of the zodiac and like the phases of the moon, or if you're not, Aries is like the first sign of the zodiac. So, there are 12 signs. We go through them every year, and Aries is technically the first sign. So, when we come to the first day of spring, the spring equinox, that marks the beginning of the sun moving through the sign of Aries. And it's basically like the astrological new year. So Aries is considered like the sign of rebirth, the sign of like new beginnings, new energy, new life. It's like and that goes along really well with spring, right? It's the beginning of everything coming back to life after, what we've experienced through the winter, after everything kind of dying and, like becoming very, very dull and quiet throughout the winter. So, I like to think of this new moon as one of the most energizing times of year and one of the best times of year to like start something new or decide that you're going to form a new habit. It's just a really especially wonderful time for new beginnings. So I definitely encourage you to take a moment before we start moving and maybe just set an intention about something that you want to incorporate into your life more over this next moon cycle, a habit that you're interested in picking up, a project that you've been putting off that maybe now is the perfect time to really commit to. Just kind of think of whatever in your life you like really need this burst of energy to put towards, and just set the intention to really commit to that as we move forward over these next 4 weeks and through this moon cycle. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I saw a couple additional people joined. I was just saying at the beginning that I can't get my music to go on the stream, but feel free to put some music on in the background just to make the class a little bit more fun. But we'll have fun either way, whether or not you have some music. So, alrighty. So today we're going to get started laying down on our backs. So feel free to take a comfortable reclined position on your mat. You can either extend the legs all the way out long, or if you'd like to bend into the knees and just place the soles of the feet down on the mat and lower the arms by the sides. If you're keeping the knees bent, they might just fall in towards each other with the feet a little wider apart. And we'll just take a couple breaths here to just start to settle into the body. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Another breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Continuing with this long, deep breath, just starting to become aware of anything going on in the body. As we just find stillness and a few moments of just quiet here before we begin our movement, this is the perfect time to maybe set that intention, whether it has to do with your yoga practice and you're just looking for maybe kind of a space to start incorporating yoga into your life more or challenge yourself in new ways on the mat, or just something in your life as a whole, whether that's a project you've been wanting to start, a change you're looking to make, a habit you're trying to pick up. Whatever comes to mind here, just affirm to yourself that now is the perfect time to start, right here and now. And if you're not physically doing that exact thing during this practice, now is maybe the perfect time to come to terms with that intention, to really cement it into your intentional space. Take a couple more breaths right here and then we'll get moving. Just taking these last few moments to settle in and become aware of the body. Then, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and blink them open and hug the right knee in towards your chest, nice and close, and just start to draw some circles with the knees in one direction and in the other direction. And then hug the knee in close. And we're going to start to place the outside of the right knee on the top of the left thigh. So creating a figure four shape with your legs here. So I'll just flip over onto the side so you can see what it looks like. Just creating this sort of long four shape. Just noticing how that feels. A little bit of openness on the right hip here. And then we'll start to slide the left foot closer in towards us. So coming into sort of the beginning of a reclined pigeon pose. And just notice again how that feels, deepening into the hip stretch. From here, plant both hands down on the mat and press into your left heel. Start to lift the hips up off the mat. So just a very subtle bridge pose here. With a big breath out, release the hips back down. And we'll flow with that for a few more breaths. So inhale to lift the hips. Exhale, release. Inhale to lift. And this doesn't have to be your biggest bridge pose, just a gentle lift here. Exhale, release. Go ahead and uncross your legs. Plant the right foot down and extend the left leg out long. And then slide the right leg out, hug the left knee into your chest, and make those circles with the left knee this time in one direction and in the other direction. Just starting to wake up the hip here. Place the left ankle on the top of the right leg, creating that figure four shape. And just noticing here for a breath. We'll start to slide that right foot in towards the hips. Again, coming into that beginning of a reclined pigeon pose here. Plant the hands down on either side of you, and with your inhale, lift the hips. Breath out to release back down. And two more times with the breath. Inhale to lift. Exhale, release. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Uncross the legs, plant that foot back down on the mat. This time we'll take a regular bridge pose, so both feet pressing firmly into the mat and lift the hips. And again, we're still warming up, so you don't have to lift the hips super high. But if you'd like to open a little deeper, you can walk the shoulder blades towards one another. Maybe just find a little bit more of a lift in the hips, squeezing the glutes together, squeezing the knees towards one another. And with a breath out, lower yourself back down. We'll flip ourselves over onto all fours. So making our way to a tabletop position here, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. And let's take a couple rounds of cat and cow pose. Inhale to drop the belly, open the heart, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the spine, look back towards the tops of the thighs. And continue with that on the breath. Inhaling to open. Exhaling to round, just starting to bring some life into the spine here. Three more breaths right here. And with your next breath, come to stillness. Bring the spine to neutral. From your tabletop, extend the right arm out in front of you as if you're shaking someone's hand. Rest of your body stays level. And then extend the opposite leg. So left leg extends out, bird dog pose. And hold here, just finding levelness from the fingertips that are reaching forward all the way back to the sole of the foot. Big long line. And then lower hand and knee coming back to your tabletop. Other side. So first, left arm extends out long. And then the right foot extends out long. Finding balance between your standing limbs, activating the core. Notice if you're arching into this, trying to keep the spine nice and long here, looking straight down. And release, returning to your tabletop position. All right, so same thing on the first side. So right arm extends, left arm extends. Big breath in. This time, draw the knee and elbow towards one another to meet underneath the core. Rounding the spine just a little bit so they can meet. Inhale, open up. Exhale, meet underneath you. Inhale to open. Exhale to meet. Last time, reach out. And this time, we're going to lower the left leg to the outside of the right leg. So crossing it to the right edge of the mat. And just start to walk the hands back. So we're coming into this sort of cow face pose with the legs stacked on top of one another. If you have a block, you can sit the block underneath your hips. Otherwise, you might want to keep your fingertips tented in front of you for a little extra balance. And just feeling a little hip opening here. And then we'll walk the hands back out, uncross the legs, and we'll take that on the other side. So right arm extends out, left arm extends out this time, right? And right leg, left arm, right leg, I think. Just do whatever is the opposite of what I just did. Pretty sure this is it. Big breath in to extend. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Inhale to open. Exhale to crunch. Inhale, open. Last time, exhale, crunch. Inhale to open. And again, this time with the exhale, the left leg comes over, the right leg comes over the left leg to the left edge of the mat. Hands walk back towards the knees. And we come towards that same shape as far back as is comfortable. So again, if you have a block, you can sit back on it. If you have space to sit all the way down, that's fine too. Once you arrive, just breathe into that stretch in the hip. And then we'll walk the hands back out. Uncross the legs to your tabletop. From here, curl the toes under, hover the knees, and shift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. And pedal out the feet. Take whatever movements feel good for you here to settle into your downward dog. And then we'll bend a little more deeply into the knees, look forward to the hands, and walk the feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold. You can keep a generous bend in the knees here. Release your head and neck. Maybe shake the head yes and no a couple times. Just make sure you're not holding into any tension here in your neck. With a breath in, we'll lift halfway. Crown of the head reaches forward. And with a breath out, release into your fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms up and overhead. And exhale, take your hands to heart. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, return to your forward fold, hinging forward. Plant the hands, step both feet back to a plank. Lower the knees for this first one. Untuck the toes and bend into the elbows to lower all the way down to the belly. With your breath in, open the heart, just lifting head and heart, gaze just at the top edge of the mat. Baby cobra. And breathe out, release. 2 more times just like that with the breath. Inhale, lift to baby cobra. Exhale, release. 1 more time, inhale, baby cobra. And with a breath out, release. Inhale, press up through all fours. And with your breath out, curl the toes under and find your way back to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. Another breath in. And a big breath out. Bend into the knees, look forward to the hands. Walk again to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, crown reaches. And exhale, release. Inhale, come all the way up to stand. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, take your hands to your heart. From your mountain pose, shift the weight into the right foot and start to slide the left toes out to the side. So we're mostly balancing on the left foot here. And your right foot, left toe is just there for balance. Keep tripping myself up on my rights and lefts today. And from here, place your left hand on your left hip and extend the right arm up and overhead and over the right ear. Finding a big side bend all along the right side of the body here. And breathe. Reach the fingertips back up high. Slide the left toes back in and take your hands to your heart. Other side. Right toes slide out. Right hand to right hip. Reach the left arm up and extend it over the left ear. So most of your balance is in that standing leg right here. And you're reaching. Left arm comes back up high. Hands to heart, slide the right foot back in. And hinge back into your forward fold. Plant the hands, step the feet back to a high plank. Always the option to lower the knees first here, or if you're ready for a full vinyasa, you can bend into the elbows, pausing halfway in your chaturanga. Inhale, open up to upward dog, or the same baby cobra that we did the first time around. And we'll all meet in downward dog. So anytime we come through a vinyasa, you always have those few different options. You can either keep the knees lifted or lowered, baby cobra or upward dog for your back bend. Always ending in an exhale, returning you right here to your downward dog. Bend into the knees, look forward to the hands, walk the feet up to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, sweep the arms up high. And with the exhale, bend into the knees, take the hands to heart, chair pose. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Shift the weight into the right foot. With control, step the left foot back to your high lunge. Inhale, reach both arms up high. Exhale, take your right hand to your right hip, extend the left arm over the ear. Side bend towards your right. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in to reach the arm up high. And breath out to fold forward over the front leg, frame the foot. Step the front foot back. With an exhale, lower down. Inhale, open up to your back bend. And exhale, return to downward dog. Breathe in. And out. Bend into the knees, look forward to the hands. Again, walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release into your fold. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, arms reach high. Exhale, bend into the knees, hands to heart, chair pose for 3, 2, 1. Shift the weight into the left foot this time. Right foot steps back to your high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left hand to hip, right arm reaches over right ear. And breathe. Inhale, arms both reach up. And exhale, fold forward over that front leg. Step the front foot back to your plank. Always the option to lower the knees with a breath out. Lower down halfway or all the way. Inhale, upward dog or baby cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. Another breath in. And a breath out. Bend into the knees. Walk, or maybe this time hop carefully to the top of the mat. And adjust your feet when you get there. Inhale, halfway lift, crown reaches. And exhale, release into your forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend into the knees, hands to heart, chair pose. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Shift the weight into the right foot again. Left foot steps back. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale again, right hand to hip, side bend over towards your right. Breath in. And a breath out. Another breath in. And with your breath out, lower your left hand to the right knee. So crossing over, grabbing that knee. And take a big breath in to open the right arm, finding a little twist towards your right. Opening the heart towards the right side. Strong in the legs. And breathe. Next breath in, come back through center, both arms reach up high, and exhale, fold forward, frame the front foot, step the front foot back to plank, and you know what's going on now, vinyasa. So lower halfway or all the way, inhale to your back bend, and exhale, meet me in downward dog. You can always skip the vinyasa, so if you start to lose some stamina, you're always welcome to just come straight to downward dog, or even just go into a child's pose if you need to rest at any point. Bend into the knees, look forward to the hands, and walk or again hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release and bow. Inhale, come all the way to stand, sweep the arms up. Exhale, chair pose, hands to heart. Breathe in and breathe out. Shift the weight into the left foot, right foot steps back. With your breath in, sweep the arms up. And exhale, side bend to the left. Left hand comes to the hip. Right arm reaches. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. With your breath out, right hand comes to left knee. With your inhale, open the heart towards the left. Left arm sweeps towards the back of your mat. And find this big twist here. Breathing. Strong in the legs. Notice if you're starting to straighten into that front leg, try to keep it over the front ankle. So strong. And with your next breath in, sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold forward, frame the front foot, step the front foot back, and again, take your flow. Lowering with the exhale, opening the heart with the inhale, and exhale takes you back. Breathe in your downward dog. Next breath in, extend the right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, take your right knee in towards your nose. Plant the foot between the hands for a runner's lunge. With a breath in, sweep both arms up, coming back through your high lunge here. Taking a breath to settle. And then open up to your warrior two. So fingertips extend to the front and back of the mat. Stance might widen a little bit. Just taking a few extra breaths in this flow to settle in. With your next breath in, straighten through the front leg. Bring both hands to meet overhead. And with your breath out, bend into the front knee, warrior two. One more time, just like that. Inhale, reach both arms up, meet overhead, straighten the front leg. And exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. So this time left hand comes down, right arm reaches up high. And with your breath out, cartwheel the arms forward to frame the front foot. Come back up onto your back toes and return to your runner's lunge. Step the front foot back, high plank, and either come right back to downward dog or move through another flow with me. Once you arrive in down dog, take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee comes in towards the nose, and we'll plant the foot between the hands. Take a couple steps to get there if you need to. Inhale, sweep the arms up to your high lunge, and settle. Another breath in here. And with your breath out, open up to warrior two. Again, maybe widen the stance a little bit. Reaching the fingertips. Notice if the front knee's caving in, draw it out, keeping it over the ankle there. Breathing, settling, feeling so strong, feeling so energized, feeling so fiery and powerful. And with your breath in, straighten through the front leg, reach the hands to meet overhead. Exhale, warrior two. One more time, just like that. Inhale, hands reach, leg straightens. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior this time. Right arm lowers, left arm rises. And exhale, cartwheel the arms forward, frame the front foot, runner's lunge. Step the front foot back, and downward dog or take a flow. Meeting back in downward dog again. Breathe in and breathe out. We'll take a couple extra rounds of breath here. I know we're starting to warm up a little bit, so feel free to stay in downward dog with me or come onto your knees for a child's pose. We're just going to take about 5 rounds of breath here. So if you want to come into child's pose, just lowering the knees, draping forward, reaching the arms out in front of you, resting the head. Just notice how you feel. Notice any changes to your breath, to the temperature of the body. Notice maybe that inner fire sort of igniting as we have started finding some movement, and return to your intention. I think if I can make it through these next few sequences, that will be fairly challenging. I can commit myself to whatever it is that I want to start this season. Whatever it is I've been putting off, been wanting to change in my life, now is the perfect time to plant those seeds and let them blossom. All right, we're going to make our way back to downward dog if you came to rest. So I'll give you a couple breaths to meet me back here. Once you arrive, we'll bend into the knees, look forward to the hands, and walk or hop to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, release and bow. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, sweep the arms up high. Exhale, take your hands to your hearts. Just like we did at the beginning, shift the weight into the right foot and slide the left toes just a little bit off the mat. So all of your weight is in the right foot here. And then we'll start to hover the left toe up off the mat and start to hinge forward from your hip. As you hinge forward, the left leg will float behind you. So we're coming through a warrior 3 shape here. Floating toes pointing straight down. I'm just trying to find your balance here. If you fall out of it, just come right back to it. Sometimes it helps to keep a little bend in that standing leg. Keep those muscles activated. And with control, we'll lower that back foot down to our high lunge with our hands at heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, open up to warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, reach the palms overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, straighten, palms meet. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. And exhale, cartwheel forward, frame the front foot. Step the front foot back and take a flow. Lowering with your exhale, opening with the inhale, and downward dog with your exhale. Take a breath in here. And a breath out. Bend into the knees, look forward to the hands, and walk or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release to your fold. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. Exhale, hands to heart. Shift the weight into the left foot, right toe slides off the edge of the mat. And then start to hover the right toes. And hinge forward from the hips. Right leg comes behind you, toes pointing straight down now. Warrior 3, looking straight down at your mat. Long line from the crown of the head to the sole of the foot is what we're going for. And with control, lower the right toes behind you, coming into a high lunge. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, open up to warrior 2. Inhale, straighten the front leg, palms meet overhead. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reach. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the arms forward, frame the front foot, runner's lunge. Step the front foot back to your plank and either take a flow or meet me in downward dog. You know the drill. I probably don't need to talk you through it at this point. You know what your flow looks like when you arrive in downward dog. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, right leg extends up to the sky, 3-legged dog. And bend into that right knee. Open up the hip a little bit. So trying to keep the arms still parallel to one another, shoulders even, and just opening up the hip here. Might be a little bit of a bend in that standing leg. And then we'll start to lower the extended knee. And we're going to try to place, just for funsies, if it feels okay for you, the right ankle onto the top of the left thigh. So kind of like we did when we were laying down at the beginning of class. Except now we're in a downward dog, so it's a little more challenging. You might not be able to open up your hip all the way like we did when we were laying down. So if you're just kind of sort of crossing one leg over the other, that's fine. But maybe if you're able to sort of create that tension and create that figure 4 shape, go for it. And I'm sure we're starting to get tired in the arms here, holding us up. One more breath. Next breath in, shift the weight forward. Take your knee towards your right elbow for a core plank shape. And open up to your three-legged dog one more time. This time, knee comes to nose through center and plants between the hands for a runner's lunge. Inhale, come all the way up to stand, sweep the arms up. And exhale, open up to warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, meet the hands overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reach the palms up, meet overhead. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Straighten the front leg in your reverse warrior. So we're moving to a reverse triangle shape. And then take the arms back through a T, reach the fingertips forward, and lower the right hand. Extend the left arm up high to your triangle. Breathe in here. And breathe out. Inhale, take the arms back up through center. Bend into the front knee. Reverse the warrior. And with a big breath out, cartwheel forward to your runner's lunge. Plant the hands, step the feet back, and take a flow with me. Or go straight to your downward dog. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale, left leg rises. And open up the hip. Arms even with one another. Just trying to stack the hips on top of one another without rotating the entire torso and upper body towards the left side too much. And keeping that knee bent, we'll start to lower it down and cross the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Again, maybe finding that figure four shape, maybe just kind of crossing the legs a little bit here. And breathing and feeling so strong in your arms and your core. Maintaining length all along the upper body. So notice if your head's starting to shift forward a little. Keep that nice and long there. One more breath. We'll draw the left knee in towards the left elbow, holding here in a core plank. Spine is nice and long. Breath in, three-legged dog, left leg rises. Exhale, left knee to nose and come through to your runner's lunge. Inhale, open up, high lunge. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the leg, hands meet. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, straighten the front leg, hands meet. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior, straighten the front leg. Take the hands out to a T, reach the fingertips forward, and open up to your triangle pose. Left hand lowers somewhere on the leg, maybe on a block if you have one. Right arm reaches high. And breathing. Come back up through center. Fingers reach in either direction. Bend into the front knee. Inhale to reverse your warrior one more time. And exhale, cartwheel forward to your runner's lunge. Step the front foot back and take a flow. Or just meet me in downward dog. Once you arrive, breath in. And breath out. Now from here, we're going to hover the left toes just about like an inch off the mat. So just starting to shift the weight of your downward dog into the right foot. And we'll set the left foot behind the right foot. So crossing the legs here. The left toes will probably land a little farther back on the mat than your right toes. But start to bend into the right knee and lower the left heel down towards the mat. And then we'll walk the hands back, coming towards the feet, and find a forward fold at the back of your mat with your left leg crossed behind your right. So most of the weight is staying in that left foot here, so the one that's closer to the edge of the mat now. Release your head and neck. And breathe. And we're going to come up to stand like this. So just making sure you're supported under your feet and start to roll up to a standing position. Arms by your sides. So we're basically in like a Tadasana shape, a mountain pose, but our right leg is crossed in front of the left. And I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to switch legs so I can mirror you. Your right leg is in front. All right. So from here, we're going to shift the weight back into that back leg. So just taking the weight out of your front foot and bending a little bit into that knee. So it's going to feel a little awkward at first with your legs crossed. You're going to be like, what do I do with this front leg that's just kind of floating around here? Once you kind of get low enough and find your stability, you can start to hover the the right leg a little bit higher and place your right ankle on the top of the left thigh. So we're finding our standing figure four now. And if you need to grab onto a wall or something for balance, or if you have a set of blocks or a table in front of you that you can place your hands on for balance, that's great. We're going to start in this more kind of hinged position. So you can take your hands to heart, hands on blocks, hands on the side of a couch or something. And just finding your stability here. Breathing. Activating that standing leg, feeling super rooted and super grounded through all four corners of that standing foot. And we're going to straighten up to a standing position. So basically coming into like a tree pose shape here, but this leg stays crossed over the front leg. If this is like so weird for you and you hate it, you can just come into a regular tree pose. Just kind of trying to spice it up a little bit. And your hands can stay at heart, or they can come to your hips, or they can blossom up to the sky if you're ready to grow your tree. And last fun option for you, if you'd like, is to take your right hand to your hip and extend the left arm over the left ear to find a side bend here. Now that's going to throw off your balance, so just be ready to catch yourself. Breathe. Finding some stillness after lots of movement. Just noticing how that feels. Still a little fiery because we're still working really hard here, even though we're not doing anything. And take one more breath, like I just did. If you fall, just come right back to it. And lower that foot down. Lower the hands if they were lifted. And just shake out the legs. Whew. Hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hinge forward to your forward fold. Take a couple extra breaths here in our forward fold just to stretch out the legs. So maybe sway from side to side if you want to grab opposite elbows and just find a little extra release here. Just a little freestyle forward fold before we take that on the other side. And then we'll start to walk the hands back out to our downward facing dog. And take a breath there. Hover the right toes off the mat again, just like an inch off the mat so we can shift the weight towards the left foot. And then cross the right leg behind the left. So the right foot comes farther down to the mat, bending into the left knee. Lowering the right heel towards the mat. And then look forward to your hands. Walk the hands back towards the feet, finding your forward fold at the back of your mat. Feel free to adjust the feet here if it feels a little awkward. I mean, it'll probably feel a little awkward either way because this is a very awkward shape, but you know what I mean? If it's like uncomfortable, just finding what feels right in your body. Then we'll roll up to a standing position here. Arms by your sides, just finding your balance here in the standing pose. And again, I'm just gonna come over here and switch my legs so I can mirror you. All right, so we're going to shift our weight again to the back leg. So right leg this time around and bend into the back knee. The left foot might kind of start to hover off the mat or just kind of be awkwardly flailing around. Once you feel really balanced in that right leg, you can start to lift the left leg higher and place that ankle on the top of the right thigh. And again, we're going to start a little more hinged here. So you can take the hands to blocks, hands to a table, hands to a wall, or just take the hands to heart if you're feeling really balanced here. And breathe. And one side might feel different than the other. The other side was feeling really awkward for me, and I'm feeling a lot more balanced on this side, and it might be the other way around for you. I say I'm feeling more balanced right now as I lose my balance, but really, we're not always perfectly symmetrical, so one side might feel a little different than the other, and that's totally normal. We'll start to straighten into the standing leg, lifting the heart, and again, coming to that sort of tree pose shape with the standing leg extended and the lifted leg crossing over the standing leg. Hands can stay at heart, arms can reach up high, you can sway in the wind, whatever kind of tree you want to be. And last little side bend option is to take your left hand to the hip and extend the right arm over the right ear. And try not to fall over. But if you do, know that that's totally normal because this is a hard way to balance. All right, one more breath here. And with your exhale, release everything, arms to sides, foot comes down, shake out the legs. And take your feet as wide as your mat, bend into the knees, and we're going to come into a yoga squat. So your toes might be turned outwards a little bit. I feel like I just hopped across the mat like a frog. Anyways, so toes might be turned out a little bit, elbows to the insides of the thighs, hands to heart. And if this is not comfy, you can sit on like a little block or a pillow or something that kind of supports your hips a little more, or you can just come to all the way down onto your hips and use the support of the earth and just sit like this. So a couple different options here. We're just going to take a little twist. So go ahead and lower your right hand down to the mat right in front of your face, and left arm extends up to the sky. And we'll switch. Right, left hand down, right arm lifts. And release. Lower yourself down onto your sit bones. Take the soles of the feet down on the mat in front of you. And we're going to transition to our reclined position through a little boat pose here. Because obviously, since it's our kind of fiery season, we want to do the fieriest pose and activate the core as much as we can here. So go ahead and you can take your thighs and your hands to start and just start to lean back. Notice if you're rounding the spine or like arching the back a little bit. Try to keep your spine nice and long and start to activate the core as you lean back. You'll start to feel some heat kind of arising in the belly as you start to use those muscles to hold yourself in this nice long extended position. And then once you find kind of a point on your glutes where you kind of feel well balanced, you can start to hover the feet off the mat. And you might release the legs and reach the hands out forward. So we'll start right there. And then if you feel really strong here, you can start to extend the legs out long too. And if you're doing this right, you're probably shaking a little bit because it's really activating those core muscles. Again, notice if you're rounding the spine, it's really easy to do. Try to draw the shoulder blades together. You'll feel the core kick on a little bit more. We're going to hold here for 3, 2. And on 1, we're gonna lower just halfway. So legs come just a little bit off the mat. Upper body comes just a little bit off the mat. I'm shaking like crazy. 3, 2, and 1. Release all the way down. And take the knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little hug. Rock a little from side to side for a moment. And lower the feet down onto your mat. Extend the right leg up to the sky, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Just find a little tension here. If it feels okay, you can walk the hands a little farther up the leg to deepen the stretch. And breathe. We'll cross the right ankle to the top of the left thigh, just like we did at the very beginning of class. This time, option to go a little deeper. So hover the left foot off the mat and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and draw it in towards your chest. This is sort of our more full reclined pigeon pose. But if this is too deep for you, you can definitely keep the foot down. Notice how this feels different from how it felt when we started class. If your hips feel a little more open, a little more warm. And release the leg if you were holding on to it, and then just let both feet fall over towards the left side. So the left leg is going to come all the way down. Sole of the right foot is going to land on the mat. And your right arm can extend out long, and your left arm can also extend out long, or you can use the left hand to reach for the right ankle and maybe just draw that foot a little closer in towards you to deepen the stretch in the hip. If this feels really awkward, you can just take a regular twist with your knees just coming together on one side. So that option's available to you if you don't like all the funky leg stuff. Although if you don't like all the funky leg stuff and you've made it this far, I'm sorry. Oh boy. All right, let's take one more breath here and then we'll switch to the other side. So coming back through center, same way we came into this. Uncross your legs. Take the feet as wide as the mat and just windshield wiper back and forth with the knees just a couple times. And then we'll take the feet back under the knees. Left leg extends up high. Interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and just find that little hamstring stretch here. Hands can walk up the legs if it feels okay. And breathe. Cross the left ankle over the top of the right knee. And again, you can stay here or hover the right foot off the mat and draw those legs in towards your chest. And breathe. Again, just noticing how this feels different than from when we started class. Notice the changes to the breath, to the temperature of the body, how your muscles feel, your mobility, your strength. Go ahead and release that right leg and we'll take that twist again. So both legs fall over towards the right. Right leg comes all the way down. Left foot comes onto the ground. And left arm extends out long. Your right arm can either also extend out long or reach for that ankle. Again, maybe just hugging it in a little closer to deepen the stretch. And like on the other side, you have the option to just take a regular old twist. So knees can just stay together if that feels better. And as we breathe here in our last little shape before we rest and move on, just take a moment to return to your intention. Like I was talking about at the beginning of class, now is the perfect time to start something new, to ignite your inner fire, to carry this fiery, powerful warrior energy with you into whatever aspect of your life needs a little extra fuel. So be present here. Don't get thinking too hard about what's next, right? We're still trying to just be here in the moment and be present with our bodies. But maybe just taking a quick consideration to how can I really embrace this fire energy and carry it with me? All right, let's come out of this twist. So coming back through that pigeon shape, uncrossing the legs. And we'll extend both legs out long. And I'll offer to you, if you want to take a traditional shavasana, you can stay right here with your legs extended out long. If you're really enjoying these sort of like hip openers that we've been focusing on throughout class and you want to do something a little different for your shavasana, and we only have like 3 minutes, so this isn't going to be the longest shavasana ever, but you can also take the soles of your feet together and let the knees fall over to the sides. That might feel really nice with all of the work we've been doing in our hips today. Might feel a little more open than usual too, so just taking advantage of that if this feels okay. And if you need a little extra support, you could always take 2 blocks on either side of the knees, just so you're a little bit more supported and not like forcing the hips open or anything. Wherever you are, we're just going to take a couple final breaths here to really absorb the benefits of our practice. So if you have something to do after this, I really encourage you to just stay for these last few minutes. It's 6:58 still, so we have a couple of minutes here to just allow ourselves to absorb the benefits of our practice and just be present with ourselves for a few more minutes. Especially with this like fiery energy that we're building up and this fiery energy that's sort of in the air during Aries season and during this new moon. You might be really tempted to just close your computer and move on to the next thing and pick up something else and start working on it. And as much as I encourage you to, really ride out this energy that you're feeling and take advantage of this new moon and this energy to get working on something, just make sure you also carry this sense of presence with you. So trying not to, get ahead of ourselves. As much as we feel really empowered and energetic, it's always crucial to stay balanced and make sure that you are present in everything you do. You're not rushing through things. So charging forward, but with a sense of awareness and a sense of temperance. That is so important in all things, no matter what energies we're dealing with, whether it's more fiery energy, more like watery emotional energy, or like grounded earth energy. Like we have all these elements that kind of play into our moods and our impulses, but they all kind of work together. So if you feel yourself getting too fiery, too intense, too riled up, you can always return to this place of awareness and just being with yourself. All right, I've effectively talked your ear off through your whole shavasana. So I'm sorry. If you want to take a couple more minutes in your shavasana, you're welcome to stay right here on your mat. But if you're ready to come out of it, you can rock over onto one side and just meet me in a seated position with your hands at heart center. And we'll take one collective breath here together to close out our practice. So with your hands at your heart, let's all together take a big breath in through the nose. And open the mouth and just sigh it completely out. Biggest breath out you've taken all day. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope you're feeling the energy. The light in me sees, appreciates, and honors the light and love in you. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you have been to any of my classes before, thank you very much. And if you haven't and you just kind of stumbled upon this event, I really hope you enjoyed it. This is a free class that I do every month, and I'm going to start trying to do a full moon class as well. That will be a little bit more restorative and gentle. But either way, I do it for free. The number one thing you can do to support me is subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm doing this on YouTube Live, so there should be a little like subscribe button or like a link to my page right under what you're looking at. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. I also will accept any donations for the class to my Venmo or PayPal, which should be in the description of the video. So again, not required or expected, because I'm just doing this for free and to reach people and to, share energy and enjoy the new moon with you. But if you wanted to give like a tip, I guess that's sort of like how you would do it and help to support me in my endeavors as a yoga teacher. So those are the two things that you can do to help me and to give thanks for this class. So either or both are much appreciated. Thank you very, very much. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I also have a mailing list. That was my one other thing. So if you haven't signed up for my mailing list, it's on my website, which is warriorwonderful.com, and you can sign up for that to continue to get like reminders and updates about classes that I'll be teaching. So yeah, thank you again so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and that you are able to channel all of this energy into, this next cycle. The next couple of weeks of your life will be just such a great time to really like embrace this fiery energy that's in the air right now. So yeah, thank you, and again, have a great night. Mwah.